The main event of the evening, live on BET and streamed globally by Tidal.com. This is it, 12 rounds of boxing in the light heavyweight division, and it's all sponsored by the Waterfront Hotel, Venue Kings, Shoe Palace, CTMS Travel, U-Boat, FanDuel, and Fandango for showtimes, tickets, trailers, and more. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Chairman John Carvelli, Executive Officer Andy Foster. This bout presented in association with Matchroom Boxing. At ringside, the three judges scoring should it go the distance: Steve Morrow, Michael Tate, and Marshall Walker. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee in charge, Dr. Lou Moret. And now, the officials are ready, the fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans, are you ready? For all the fans in attendance here at the Oracle Arena, and all those watching around the world on BET, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, with his trainer Joe Gallagher, wearing black and officially weighing in at 176 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 35 victories, including 20 wins by knockout against 5 defeats. From Liverpool, Merseyside, England, the former British super middleweight champion, the real Gone Kid, Paul Smith. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the black corner, with his trainer, Virgil Hunter. He's wearing red and black and officially weighs 171 3/4 pounds. This Olympic gold medal champion now has a perfect professional record consisting of 27 fights, 27 victories, including 14 wins by knockout. He's the undefeated WBA Super World Champion from Oakland, California, Andre S.O.J.
Okay, gentlemen, again, your instruction in the dressing room is have a good, clean fight and listen to my commands. Return to your corner and wait the bell. Good luck.
Well, whatever you think of ratings and rankings and which belts people hold, on one thing everybody agrees: Andre Ward, quite simply the best super middleweight on the planet, and boxing in his hometown as well. That is the magnitude of the task facing Paul Smith tonight. If he can pull it off, it would rank as one of the great British boxing wins abroad. But he is a massive underdog, and when you throw in the weight issue, and goodness knows what that's done to him psychologically over the last few hours and days, we just don't know. But he has to forget about that. He can face the music on that one when he gets home, but now he's got to concentrate on pulling off Mission Impossible against the gifted, brilliant and talented Andre Ward. Looking for openings. Talking to Joe Gallagher in the week, he said, look, we're not going to come in and outbox Andre Ward, everyone knows that, but there are things that he does that are wrong. If he does leave himself open, Paul, he says, has got to pounce and be ready. Others think, well, Paul's best chance is just to go for broke in the first 2 or 3 rounds, just let some bombs go and see what happens. Well, people have tried that against Andre Ward before and it doesn't work. What does work against Ward? That's what Paul Smith's got to try and find out tonight.
Yeah, it's difficult to give Paul advice how to go about this. You've got to be good enough A fight plan is all very well if you're good enough to carry it out, but he needs a tight defence, which thankfully he's got. He needs the chin down and the hands up, and he has to get his feet close and let combinations go. He's not going to win this at long range. So the first thing he has to do is get close, chin down, hands up, get close and let punches go, maybe in little bursts. He's trying the jab. I don't think the jab's going to work against Ward. I think it's going to be get up close and shorten the punches and put them together. But as I've said, easily said, not easily done. Ward's throwing a solid jab already.
Keeping a very high guard here, Smith. Ward just able to just pick some shots. A lot of these shots getting blocked against that guard, although he's already reddening up around the midsection. Smith just trying to land a right hand there. It's falling short. Smith, of course, stepped up in his last two fights against Arthur Abraham, pushed him very close in the first fight. No argument when he lost the second one. That was a big step up from British level. Showed he wasn't far off mixing with the real big boys, but then it's a whole step up again. And you're talking about going in with the likes of Andre Ward. And ring rust, nobody thinks that's going to be an issue. Ward lives in the gym.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in ring rust anyway. If you prepare properly and get good sparring, then you're sharp enough. Okay, there's nothing the same as actual action in the ring, but no, you can see how quickly Ward has settled. And there's plenty of meat in the punches, a good solid jab there from him. You know, he's putting the meat into these shots. These are not just little range finders. But Paul's looking a bit slow in the early running.
Well, Paul Smith has safely got through the opening 3 minutes, but Andre Ward was comfortable and relaxed, just picking his shots, hasn't even bothered to sit down on his stool. Looked very, very happy to be back, and he made an interesting point there that Paul was looking slow, Jim, and that extra weight, it's not going to help his mobility.
No, it's weight that's not going to do him any good whatsoever. I'm really surprised and shocked that he's come in so heavy. I don't know if it's a decision, if it's a mistake or what, but carrying that weight about, you know, not going to do him any good whatsoever.
Well, there's all sorts of conspiracies about that. It was all part of the plan that they were going to just load up the power and try and blitz Ward out of there. It's probably closer to the truth that they've just messed up.
I mean, I don't know if Paul Smith is thinking about just let some of the steam leave Ward's work. You know, just cover up in the early rounds and maybe have a blast later on in the fight, because nothing that he's done, I don't see a plan as yet, apart from just blocking what's coming towards him, and they getting a couple of the early rounds behind. You know, I don't see that he's tried anything out whatsoever.
He does want to create something and exploit one of these potential openings that Joe Gallagher thinks could be there when you're up against Ward, and I stress the word could. Then you've got to make something happen, and at the moment, as you say, he's in his shell.
He's boxing at a slow pace against one of the best counter punchers in the business. You know, he wants to fight in bursts, get the feet close, as I was saying, and let it come out.
Caught an uppercut there.
Uppercut there. Second of that one.
It's the sort of shot that Ward can produce when he's on the inside. He is not just some slickster dancing away with his back to the ropes, making you miss or anything like that. He can do pretty much anything. He's a very good inside fighter. He can get rough if he has to.
That was a good jab he's landed as well. See, Smith knows that any mistake he makes, and every mistake he makes, he's going to be punished for it. It's tough working under those conditions. Now, he leads off there, misses, and he's countered. There's clinical stuff now from Ward at the moment.
And it's too easy for Ward at the moment. He's just got that high guard, as you say, trying to block whatever's coming at him. And Ward is just able to pick his spots at the moment. There is nothing coming back at Andre Ward at all. Smith staying in that shell. Ward not out of second gear yet. Last few seconds of the second round.
Got to come up with something better than this, Paul Smith. Got to give it a go. Got to put it on Ward.
It's relaxed in the Ward corner.
I mean, one problem having 19 months out, Nick, is that when you're boxing regularly and you're fighting fit regularly, the stamina builds. So sometimes stamina is not quite what it should be after a layoff. But there's nothing wrong with the sharpness in Ward's work. So maybe the Smith camp are hoping to take him into the later rounds, and then maybe they can find a bit more success.
Well, that's what Joe Gallagher was saying while we were away. Just be patient, stay with it, stay defensive. Just wait for the opening, and if it comes, take it. Gallagher talking about land the left hook. But at the moment, he's just landing nothing.
Well, anyone who thought Ward wasn't a puncher, I mean, these are solid looking shots he's letting go. Yeah, I can only see that maybe Smith wants a few of the early rounds by without any damage inflicted, and hopefully the pace will slow in the second half of the fight and he can make some sort of impression, because he's done precious little up to this point.
What he has done is stay clean and out of any trouble, because he's kept that guard high and solid. As you say, in terms of offensive output, so far nothing. But the plan is pretty obvious, and it's a roll the dice plan. There he was looking to land the left hook, and look how far away it was.
Well, I was saying, you know, the first bell, the only plan I could suggest was a tight guard, the chin down, the hands up, and get the feet close and let combinations go. But as I was saying, I knew how tough it would be to carry out. But he's got to come forward more than he's doing, Smith.
And let's not forget, that's a raking jab. Second and third were blocked. The first one got through.
Ward carries the left hand low sometimes and whips the jab up from there, so you don't even see it coming, because your own gloves are kind of disguising the punch. You know, he brings it up from the hip region. Oh, that's terrific stuff. Okay, partially blocked the first couple, but these are solid punches that Ward is throwing.
Interesting to see if Ward is the man who starts to step it up a little bit. Remember, the pressure is on Ward in many ways. Nothing is expected of Paul Smith. He's here as the hand-picked opponent. Ward is the man that's got to put on a show, announce to the boxing world that he really is back. And he won't want to do it plodding through 12 rounds like this.
Well, if you don't expect to win the early rounds, which I don't expect Smith did expect, then you know what he's doing. It may have some sort of plan, but he's relying on Ward running out of steam when you can't do that.
Joe Gallagher continuing the adjustments with the damage to the forehead has reddened up.
Shoot low. The left hook is laying back. Come low first. Go low, then come high. All right. Shoot the right hand straight down the middle, then come up with it. All right. Alright guys, up! Good luck.
They tried to land a couple of hooks to the head, and they missed by a mile, didn't they? Maybe the body attack is more practical. That was the one that got him. That fourth one really ripped through. It was high on the forehead.
Angle, straight arm, angle.
But it's about patience, staying clean, and just hoping that an opportunity comes, and if it does, grabbing it. it's a long shot. And any time you're up against Andre Ward,
yeah, and the one
underdog.
thing you need against Ward, you need sharpness, and I haven't seen any sharpness in Paul Smith's work so far. You know, I'm worried about the weight he's coming in at. So pretty much the same pattern. Smith with the tight guard, trying to come forward, but then just been reminded there how smart and clever Ward is at nullifying when you do get close.
He is a heartbreaker as well, Andre Ward. Once he's worked out what you're trying to do, he's brilliant at neutralising it. Of course, that's been a little bit of a problem for Ward, because it's hard to work out exactly what Paul is trying to do here, other than just get through these early rounds.
I just think what he's doing, I think he's saving energy in the first half of the fight. He's expecting to lose the early rounds, so he's saying, well, fine, but I'm not getting anything taken out of me. But these are kind of solid shots you don't want to be taking too many of. So it looks as though the plan is be well behind, hope the pace slows, and Ward, who's been out for 19 months, maybe lacks the stamina to keep this pace going for 12 rounds. But what you're banking on there is a stoppage. Don't see that on the cards.
Well, you can count on the fingers of one hand the number of times Andre Ward has been rocked. I'm struggling to think of any. It's a risky strategy, but nobody's coming up with a better one either. There's that high guard. Yeah, Ward can show off a little bit because there's not a lot coming back at him.
No, all I can see that he's doing, Nick, is he conserving energy. He's not using anything up. They must be banking on the second half of the fight. That maybe physical strength can come into play, but no signs of any success yet from Paul Smith.
Through a straight left there, Smith. One of the few times he's landed cleanly. There's a reaction immediately from Ward.
You're too slow to pull the trigger when you're getting in position. You're getting in good positions, Paul. You've got there, you're not pulling the trigger. Let it go, alright? There's nothing to lose, let it go.
I mean, it must be demoralising that every time you do try to let punches go, you're countered.
And you know it too as well. I mean, this is no mystery that he's suddenly in with somebody who's a little bit better than him. Everyone knew this going in.
That was solid again.
Really
that was solid. Yeah, he felt that one. That's knocked him onto his heels. Ward's picking up the pace now. Anyone who thought he wasn't a puncher will be changing their mind. You see, you have to be taking something out of the other guy, and Paul Smith is taking nothing out of Andre Ward. He's letting him do everything as he pleases, at the pace he pleases. I do not see how he can make this strategy work. A good body shot. I felt that. Well, referee's calling it low. It didn't look low from this angle.
Well, you acknowledged it as well, Ward. So
yeah, well,
he's not going to argue about it. Nothing wrong with that. Right hook to the body. Mixing up his shots a little bit more in this fifth round, Ward. Showing us more variety.
Well, against the high guard that Paul Smith has got, that's where the space is. It's behind the elbow. And letting some right hands go, that's better from Smith, but not connecting.
Yeah, I was going to say, still chasing shadows. There's a low one there on the blind side of the referee. Smith doesn't make anything of it. He's so comfortable, isn't he, Ward? Just cruising along. Just a real natural talent. And he's done all his work with Virgil Hunter over the years, but obviously the Oakland native. It was interesting in that last round while we were away, Jim. Hunter was starting to give him some instructions and he just started talking back to him. It's like, I know what I'm doing, I don't need to hear from you. He's such an instinctive, natural, gifted craftsman, Andre Ward. Seems to be happy to try and draw Smith onto him here, just backing up a little bit. See if he can tempt Smith into opening up.
Yeah, well, does Smith feel that Ward is slowing down a little bit after 4 rounds? I doubt it. I mean, we have to believe that sooner or later Paul Smith is really going to have a go here and let some punches fly, because it's, you know, it's not in his nature to carry on with this for 12 rounds, just go the distance. So I can only assume that he's waiting for the second half of the fight when he's still has strength as the head's coming together. No damage, hopefully.
Another round in the bank. We don't need to discuss your scorecard, Jim. It's fairly straightforward, this one.
Right, come on. Alright, I'm showing him too much respect. Alright, listen, shots there, you get inching a little bit closer and closer. Yeah. Andre, 4 or 5 rounds, he's boxing. He's getting bored. You're closing the distance, make him use them legs. Alright, you've got to pull the trigger, like I said earlier. Come low and then you come a no-cut.
It's scar tissue, that's all it is.
Okay? Come low, then you come high, and time the right hand, Paul. All the time.
Yeah, quit pawing so much and staying in that same zone, okay? I need feints to keep him off balance and twitching, you hear me? Okay?
Oh, then we need more from it, alright? Let's take the legs away. We've not done 12 rounds for a few years. Okay. Just keep it tight, alright? And then you look and go. Brilliant part in the middle.
Real quick,
You would like to see Paul a bit more fired up in between rounds as well. I'm hoping he doesn't become demoralised because he feels he's chasing shadows.
Well, listen to Joe Gallagher there. I mean, part of the strategy is, as we suspected it might be, just give the feeling to Ward that this is just too easy. You heard Gallagher say there he'll be getting bored soon because it has been too easy for him. If it gets easy, maybe he gets sloppy. I mean, it's clutching at straws. It really is, but what else can you do?
See, the problem for Smith, when he does open up, when he does lead with a jab or whatever, he's countered with a solid shot. When he's doing what he's doing here, at least he's taking the sting out of the punches that are landing. You know, and he's at least partially blocking them. But when he tries to do anything, he's punished for it, and that is so tough to work under those circumstances. But he's here to win, and what he's doing at the moment is not winning anything.
Let's see if he can land one of those left hooks that Joe Gallagher was talking about. Very little has landed so far. He's shaken again. He's happy just to target that high guard, Ward, as if he's just trying to just batter his way through.
I'm surprised Ward hasn't done more to the body, because that's where the target is. But when you throw 4 punches, then the third and fourth are going to land solidly, and he's been doing that several times. He's just been allowed to control the pace, the action, everything here. He's just doing as he pleases.
It's worth saying, Smith just catches the left hand there. It's worth making the point, Jim, that Smith hasn't looked any worse than any of other Ward's victims. You know, they've all looked like they're in at a different lower level to Andre Ward.
Yeah, but I don't remember anybody just walking forward with their hands up. You know, really, you have to expect him to produce a little bit more than he's doing. Going to have to take some chances if he wants to win this. But there's no panic in the corner. I mean, Joe Gallagher seems quite happy with the fact that he's still in there. He hasn't exerted himself, so the tank should still have plenty in. He's going to have to start using it sometime. And these clean shots kind of knock the energy out of you as well.
The right hand in over the top here in the last few seconds of this 6th round, Ward, and again Smith backing up, and he's telegraphing it. He's just enjoying himself in there, Andre Ward. You get the sense that he feels it is good to be back after 19 months out, when he considered his whole career. He does have other options, of course. He's developing quite a reputation as a pundit as well.
All right, find a quick jab. Change the power off. Get the jab strong to the stomach, quick to the stomach, feint to the stomach, right down the middle. You have to step in. You're catching him on the end of the punches. I'm telling you, once you start
back to roll, don't be a sitting duck. Roll your head and move off.
The Buzzer Hunter telling him to go to the body now, because that would bring the defences down, and then the head shots would work. I'm really surprised he hasn't done more to the body.
You're really getting more and more success. The rounds are coming on. Keep it tight.
Tilly Gallagher's working hard as a psychologist here, telling Smith he's just getting a bit more success, keeping him feeling that, yeah, he's in this, he's got his chances. It's been one way, but it hasn't been a battering. As you said, he's managed to keep relatively clean. He will have plenty in the tank, or he should have. When's he going to start emptying that tank? Will Ward even give him the opportunity to do that? Just as we've seen, when you bring an offense against Ward, he tends to take it away from you just as quickly, and he's come out fast here in this 7th round. There's a body shot.
See, there's always the danger here. I mean, if something were to happen, it would go wrong in a stoppage for Ward, then Paul Smith's going to go home feeling, you know, he didn't really give it a go. And really, in a huge night like this, you want to know you gave it everything that you had. So I'm just wondering how many more rounds can he afford to do what he's doing.
Well, he's got to think of his reputation a little bit as well, Jim, because he's going to get slaughtered in the press for the weight issues. That's coming, whatever. But if he then puts in a performance that just doesn't really do anything, you know, the criticism will intensify even more. At least, as you say, if he goes out, blazing like that, a right hand. And Ward immediately just covered up though, but that right hand landed.
That's what we need to see. Maybe that will give him a little bit of confidence. This is exactly what we need. Take some chances.
But he is boxing to that plan. Gallagher's been saying it. You've got to just stay clean, and if the chance comes, grab it. Right hand got Ward's attention, but he steadied the ship almost immediately.
Well, maybe that'll give him a little bit of confidence, knowing if he just lets the odd shot go. Solid shots back from Ward. This is good stuff from Ward. Putting Smith back in his place at the moment.
Just so in control, isn't it? But Smith still doing that good job of keeping that guard high, blocking and taking the sting out of these punches that Ward's throwing, and Ward has not targeted the body. There was one early body shot in this round, but he hasn't followed it, and Smith lunging in again.
Yeah, get through, missed with the right, but get through with the left. So at least he's letting some power punches go. And not before time.
Well, if the plan was to just try and lull Ward in and then start to drop some bombs, well, we're seeing things happening. Things changing slightly in this 7th round, but still a big hill for him to climb. Matthew Macklin in the studio. Matt, how are you seeing this?
Yeah, I mean, that was his best round of the fight so far. He landed a nice jab to the body with a straight right hand over the top, and then a good left hand after the right lead. But you know, he hasn't won a round obviously so far, but I'd like to see him just take a few more chances now and let his hands go a bit more. You know, he's probably not going to win this on points, but I'd like to see him, you know, apply a bit more pressure and just let his hands go more and put some combinations together. He's shown a real good defence, but I'd just like to see him open more now and open up more and you know, be a bit more adventurous.
Yes, thanks, Matt. That's what Jim's saying as well, but lost every round, up against a master craftsman, and now you've got to cut as well.
I'd like to see him looking a bit more fired up in the corner. I mean, that's the Paul Smith that we know. That's the Paul Smith we saw against Arthur Abraham. He was fired up. You know, he really fancied he could go about the thing. Well, even Ward there, you saw that. He just pulled away slightly and took some of the sting out of that right hand. But it was a good shot, nevertheless.
I know what you're saying, Jim, but I think the fired up Paul Smith, the heart on your sleeve Paul Smith, would not still be here. He's had to be a very different animal here just to get to this 8th round. Ward saw that left hand coming. Just moved out of range. Started that little assault with the body shot, and the blood worsens from the side of the left eye.
See, he's strong as well, Ward. You know, he's not a fancy down, a terrific technique. But he can stand and have a tear up as well, if need be.
Well, you remember Edwin Rodriguez 19 months ago, another guy who came in with weight issues, if memory serves me correctly. He came in and tried to be the bully boy, and Ward wasn't having that. Mikael Kessler complained for a long time afterwards about Ward's roughhouse tactics.
He's just not, you know, opening any windows for Smith. He's just not offering any chance. Doesn't make mistakes. Keeps Smith occupied all the time with the jab. And when Paul got close there, just couldn't make it pay, couldn't make it count.
Ripping through once again there. These fast, sharp punches. Smith looks to try and land the right hand. Ward gone. Oh, wicked little uppercut there. Beautifully timed. Smith never saw it coming.
And that is the punch against the high guard. Surprised, the body shots and the uppercuts we haven't seen many of. That was a beauty. That was a real sickening punch, that one.
Well, Smith had a little bit of a go in the 7th round, and it's almost as if he's paying the price for that now, because Ward has stepped it up here in round 8. And there's been nothing from Smith in this round that he can take any comfort from at all. He's been badly second best. Too easy for Ward, and the strategy, such as it is, of just being patient and waiting for the opening, well, that looks like it's a flawed one. But what do you do against Andre Ward? Smith gives him the big stare down. The big stare down isn't going to bother Ward either. Williamson going to work on that cut.
I'm okay now, I was fighting.
That was a lovely shot, picked beautifully there. Little dip down, and Beautiful punch.
And on we go. Round 9 of 12. Paul Smith still there. No case for him winning a round, no case for him sharing a round, but doggedly plugging away, sticking to the plan, hoping that the opening will come. Well, you could see it in his eyes on his stool in that last round. It's starting to dawn on him. That opportunity, you know, it might not come. And he's got another 3 rounds of this after this round, if he gets there. Backing up.
Yeah, I felt that one, I think.
Is Ward starting to make significant breakthroughs here in round 9? Is he breaking through Smith's resistance?
And I think Ward is looking the stronger and the fresher of the two.
And the guard is starting to come apart as well. Ward is starting to rip through it. Smith getting off the ropes, but Ward straight back on him, and he's in big trouble here, Smith.
Now, he looked as if the fight had been knocked out of him for a couple of seconds there, Smith. Now, he's taking a beating at the moment.
Yeah, this is turning into a wrap now. Ward just landing big shots over the top, straight through the middle as well. And Smith grits his teeth, shows his courage. So maybe it is just time. What the heck? Go for the tear-up. You're winning nothing like this. But hurt again, and in comes the towel. Joe Gallagher has seen enough. Andre Ward is back. He really turned it up in that last round. And there was nowhere for Smith to go. Just got sliced up.
Yeah, mate, I think it's just been a bit of a disaster for Paul Smith from start to finish. I think he came in far too heavy. The fight was made over the super middleweight limit, but he is a super middleweight, so his best fighting weight is round about there. I think he's come in too heavy. He was slow, he was sluggish, and facing one of the sharpest guys on the planet. We can't fault. He stuck with it. He kept doing his best. I think the tactics were to try and take the sting out of Ward, but Ward seemed to be the one who was getting stronger the longer the fight was going. And Andre Ward, you have to hand it to him, definitely a special fighter. That was a terrific performance from him.
Well, you heard Mackie Macklin in the studio at the start of the fight talk about this fella as one of the top 3 or 4 pound for pound boxers in the business right now. If anything, that was understating the case. Outside of Mayweather, who would you put ahead of him? And it was Paul Smith's misfortune tonight, as it turns out, to be there as the comeback opponent. It says a lot about Paul's character that he took this fight in the first place. As you say, the weight issue is another matter again, and he'll get some criticism for that, and rightly so. But, you know, they say every athlete, you always want to measure yourself against the best, and Paul's done that tonight. And he's found out what we all knew anyway. This fella is just in a league of his own. It was effortless for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was allowed to box at his own pace, do exactly as he pleased. Paul was completely defensive right from the off. At no time did he really try to take the initiative. Now and again he tried the pot shot. He landed a good right hand. But, I mean, apart from that good solid right hand that he landed, he produced very little. So, I mean, it's testament to the quality of this guy Ward, but I don't know if Paul will be a bit disappointed that maybe he didn't let some punches go, be a bit more adventurous, just give it a little bit more of a go. But it's easy sitting here thinking that, so much harder when every move you make, every mistake you make, you're punished for it, because this guy really is a special fighter.
And that's the point, Jim, isn't it? And Joe Gallagher will get some criticism now from the know-it-alls. They'll say what a flawed strategy that was. Smith should have been given this chance. That should have happened. But if you're going to say the strategy was wrong, come up with a strategy that would have worked. And that's the hard part. Who's got one? I
think we also have to remember, Nick, that before Paul Smith came came here, he was not given a chance of winning.
That's right.
It was a fight no one expected him to win. We maybe expected him to make it more of an impression during the time the fight lasted. But nobody gave him a chance, so nobody's surprised he's been well beaten. So, I mean, he's just going to have to, hold his head high.
And remember, he was pulled out by the corner, and there'll be no arguments about that either. Joe Gallagher did absolutely the right thing there, because he was close enough to the situation to know that Paul was taking a beating there, and such is his courage and heart. That could have ended up very, very ugly indeed. So the towel was the right thing to do.
I thank God, thank all my fans, my church family, my pastors, Pastor Nicole, Pastor Napoleon.
Yeah, well, if the plan was that Paul would be the stronger of the two in the second half of the fight, I actually worked in reverse. I think the constant flow of punches that he was taking was knocking the energy out of him. And for the first time, he was taking regular, clean punches. The defence had been opened. Ward was punching right through it, no reply. So I think it was a good call for the towel to come in and stop the pain.
You could see it in his eyes the previous round, Jim, when he was on the stool. Paul knew there was nothing there, nothing he could find. Just out of his league. But as you say, that was the pre-fight prediction. He showed some guts and some courage, and he stuck to a game plan. But when you're up against Andre Ward, you need a little bit more than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dr. Lou Moret calls a halt to this contest at 1 minute 46 seconds of round number 9. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated. He is the fighting pride of the championship city of Oakland, California, Andre S.O.G.
And he is back. Well, given the number of British fighters in the division, you don't think that Paul Smith's the last boxer from this part of the world that Andre Ward will be facing. I wonder what the likes of George Groves, James DeGale, even perhaps Carl Froch, because we still don't know exactly what Carl's going to be doing, what they're making of what they've seen of Andre Ward tonight. And some of the younger guns. What about Martin Murray competing at this division now? Callum Smith down the road. Rocky Fielding. So many good British super middleweights. I think one of them you're back against Andre Ward, let's be honest.
I'm just wondering, Nick, why was it an overweight match? Why was the match originally made at 172? I don't think for 1 minute that Ward can't make super middleweight any longer, but I just wonder why this was an overweight match.
Well, time for the post-mortems, but this one has gone according to the script. Andre Ward is back, and he is back in some